All right. So here we have our introduction and expectations for our group, because honestly, how else are we going to know what we're supposed to do in these places, right? Our first expectation is always to respect other players and our space. Second expectation for our group is to participate. Third expectation is to do your best. And then your expectation for any of our groups is to make mistakes and to learn from those mistakes. We're going to go into each of those into a little bit more detail right now, so hold on to your hats. As soon as it decides it wants to move, there you go. All right. So there are many different ways that we can show respect to somebody. Showing respect is how we show people that they are important. Some small ways that we can show each other respect is to use each other's names, use everybody's preferred pronouns, listen and talk to each other, take turns to include everybody, make sure everybody has a turn, and most importantly, consent. If somebody says to stop, quit, no, etc., you stop doing whatever it is immediately. Additionally, we're going to be going through a lot of things in regards to character building and stuff, but we don't have a lot of time to play. So please use time outside of our group to learn more about your character and ask questions, because we're always welcoming questions. We're always open to questions. But in the middle of the game, when you only have a little bit of time to play, not the best time to be flushing out your character. Other ways to show respect. Don't hurt other people, whether it is intentional or like unintentional. And if you do accidentally hurt somebody, apologize for it immediately and don't do it again. This is throwing and breaking things. That's typically more for our physical space, but the same thing applies at home. You don't want to be like throwing things and hitting your monitor. You don't want to be destroying anything around you. Don't say or do mean things to other players. And don't take the time to try to intentionally derail the campaign. We have a very limited time to play. Fun and games are all fun and games. And there's plenty of times and opportunities to have those fun and games outside of our scheduled session. So next, we're going to talk a little bit about participation. During our sessions, it's important for everybody to have a chance to speak, to play, and just to be heard. Everybody who's playing is expected to participate, and everyone is expected to respect other people who are participating. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about perspective taking. It's a word that kind of comes up, or I guess it's a phrase that kind of comes up a lot, but not everybody necessarily knows what it means. So I'm going to just go into that real fast. I want to start this with just a warning. People are going to say and do mean and rude things when we play. Often this is part of the game, and in the context of the game, this is expected. However, we expect that players are always going to respect other players. So it's important to know the difference between a character and a player. A player is different than a character, and we're going to go into that a little bit more here now. You are not your character. You are the player. You are real. You live in our real world. You are the person who is listening to this, playing this game. As a player, you may not say or do mean things to other players. It's not fun, and it makes other players annoyed, angry, upset, and just not want to play. You are not your character. You control your character. Your character is not real. You'll find that other characters may say or do mean things to your character. Your character may also say or do mean things to other characters in the game. A big thing to remember is that it is not real. Sometimes you'll find that mean things that are said or done in pretend can be fun or funny, but it has to be done in character. It has to be as part of the game, and it cannot actually offend any other player. If you are playing a character that ends up actually offending other players, you'll be asked to make some changes, because ultimately this is a group game and we want the group to feel comfortable playing it. Next expectation is to do your best. Now, your best is going to fluctuate every day. Your best today is going to be different than your best from yesterday, and that's going to be different from your best tomorrow, and that's okay. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling sick, your best is not going to be as good as if you're feeling well rested and energetic. We want to make sure that you're always doing your best because over time, it's habitual, it's habit forming. And if you are practicing always doing your best is going to get better over time. So that's what we're looking for. Improving your best by doing your best every day, just because over time your best will get better. Now, the most important thing that we have here is the idea that everybody needs to make mistakes. It's a requirement of these groups. You need to make mistakes. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. And the most important thing about making those mistakes is learning from them. A game where nobody makes any mistakes and everybody is perfect and there's sunshine and happiness all the time gets really boring really fast. We want to make sure that mistakes are being made, that we're learning how to handle those mistakes, that we're collaborating with each other and using teamwork to figure out how to overcome those mistakes and how to just improve over time. Mistakes are normal. Everybody makes them, and we want to celebrate our mistakes. Now, that being said, we want new mistakes. We don't want people to make the same mistake every session, because if you make the same mistake every session, that's just showing you haven't really learned from your last mistake. Make mistakes, learn from them. Make new mistakes, celebrate those mistakes, and especially celebrate when you are able to overcome those mistakes and get past them. So these have been the primary requirements, I guess the rules of our group. They're pretty short, they're pretty sweet, but they are required for us to all be on the same page for when we're moving forward. Thanks for listening.